My name is Susan Boyle.
Okay, Susan, where are you from?
I am from Blackburn near Bathgate, West Lothian.
It's a big town.
It's a sort of collection of, it's a collection of villages.
In the crowded, fast-moving world of modern celebrity, some moments just cut through the noise. They're so powerful, so genuine, that they get locked into our collective memory. For millions, one of those moments came in 2009. It arrived in the form of a shy, unassuming woman from a small Scottish village, who walked onto a massive stage with a nervous smile, slightly frizzy hair, and a dream she'd been holding onto for 47 years. She was the exact opposite of everything the glossy world of pop culture told us a star should be. And then, she sang. In that single moment, Susan Boyle wasn't just a contestant on a talent show anymore. She became a global symbol of hope, living proof that it's never too late to chase your dream, and that incredible talent can hide in the most unlikely of places. Her voice silenced the cynics and united the world in awe. But what happens after a dream like that actually comes true? What happens when the whirlwind dies down, the headlines move on, and real life, with all its challenges, comes roaring back? In 2009, she was the shy woman whose voice floored the world. For years, she was a global superstar, selling over 25 million records and charming audiences from London to Las Vegas. And then, it felt like she just vanished. The world that fell in love with her powerful voice and infectious giggle was left asking, where did Susan Boyle go? The truth is more shocking than you can imagine. After a life-altering stroke stole her ability to speak, let alone sing, the world wondered if we would ever hear from her again. This is the incredible, untold story of her silent battle and the miraculous comeback nobody saw coming. To really get the depth of her struggle, we have to go back to that electrifying moment that started it all. The year is 2009. The place is the Clyde Auditorium in Glasgow, Scotland. The show is Britain's Got Talent, presided over by the notoriously tough Simon Cowell. The air is thick with that classic reality TV mix of hope and cheap cynicism. And onto this stage walks Susan Boyle, 47 years old, unemployed, and from the tiny town of Blackburn, West Lothian. You can feel the initial reaction, and it isn't kind. The cameras capture smirks and eye rolls from the audience. The judges, Simon, Piers Morgan, and Amanda Holden, exchange skeptical looks. When Susan says she wants to be as big as Elaine Paige, you can hear giggles ripple through the auditorium. The whole scene feels like a setup for a brief, cruel segment we'd all forget by the next commercial break. She was the classic underdog, but nobody knew her story was about to begin. She announces she'll be singing I Dreamed a Dream from Les Miserables, a song about a life of disappointment and shattered dreams. The irony is almost overwhelming. The backing track starts, a simple, haunting piano intro. Susan closes her eyes, takes one last breath, and then, it happens. I dreamed a dream in time gone by. That first note just hangs in the air, instantly silencing the entire room. It's rich, powerful, and absolutely beautiful. The smirks in the crowd melt away, replaced by open-mouthed shock. Amanda Holden's jaw literally drops. Simon Cowell, the ultimate cynic, leans forward, his eyebrows shooting up in disbelief. He's not just impressed, he's watching every single one of his preconceptions get completely demolished. As the song builds, so does the emotion. This isn't just a performance, it's a lifetime of deferred hope, of singing to her cat, of a promise she made to her late mother, all pouring out onto an unsuspecting world. By the time she hits the song's powerful crescendo, every single person is on their feet, roaring with an applause that feels less like appreciation and more like a collective, cathartic release. They weren't just clapping for the song. They were clapping for her. In just 3 minutes, Susan Boyle became one of the most famous women on the planet. The YouTube video of her audition didn't just go viral. It became a piece of digital folklore, hitting over 100 million views in just 9 days, a staggering number at the time. She was on news channels worldwide. Oprah wanted an interview. She was, in every sense of the word, a phenomenon. Though she controversially placed second in the competition to the dance troupe Diversity, it didn't matter. Her career was already a sure thing. Her debut album, I Dreamed a Dream, released in November 2009, was a monster hit. It became the UK's fastest-selling debut album of all time. In the US, it shot to number 1 on the Billboard charts and became the second best-selling album of the year globally. In her first year of fame, she earned an estimated £5 million. Her next albums, The Gift and Someone to Watch Over Me, also debuted at number 1, making her the first female artist in UK chart history to have 3 consecutive albums hit the top spot in less than 2 years. She sold out tours, sang for the Pope, performed for the Queen, and built a net worth estimated at an incredible $40 million. It was a true fairy tale. But as we all know, fairy tales often have a dark forest lurking, and for Susan, the bright lights of fame were about to cast some very long shadows. Going from a quiet, anonymous life to global superstardom is a shock to the system that few can truly understand. For Susan, who had lived a sheltered life caring for her mother and finding comfort in her church choir, it was overwhelming. Suddenly, she was hounded by paparazzi and judged by the media for every little thing. Reports of emotional outbursts began to appear, often framed as diva-like behavior. The truth was far more complicated. Susan has since been open about her mental health struggles, which were massively amplified by her sudden fame. She even admitted the stress almost made her quit Britain's Got Talent. For most of her life, Susan was told she had mild brain damage from birth complications, a label that explained the learning difficulties and bullying she faced as a child. But in 2013, she sought a second opinion and received a life-changing diagnosis. It wasn't brain damage. It was Asperger's syndrome, a high-functioning form of autism. For Susan, the diagnosis wasn't a burden, it was a relief. As she told The Guardian, "It will not make any difference to my life. It's just a condition that I have to live with and work through." It finally gave her a way to understand her social anxiety and her struggles with the sensory overload of fame. The world saw her as eccentric, but now she had the right word for her experience. Other struggles piled on. In 2012, she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, forcing her to change her diet and lose weight. Then came painful family drama. Fame and money can strain even the tightest bonds, and reports surfaced of a heartbreaking 2-year feud with her brother over finances. Thankfully, they reconciled in 2016, but the period added another layer of stress to her life. Through it all, her one constant, her safe place, was her voice. It was the gift that had saved her from obscurity. She continued to record, releasing albums like Hope in 2014 and A Wonderful World in 2016. She also stayed famously grounded, choosing to buy her childhood council house in Blackburn for a modest £111,000 instead of moving into a mansion. It was her way of staying connected to her roots. She seemed to have finally found her balance. But her greatest challenge, one that would threaten the very core of who she is, was still to come. In April of 2022, the unthinkable happened. Susan Boyle had a stroke. Publicly, she called it a minor stroke, but the damage was anything but. It was devastating, leaving one side of her body weak. Even more terrifying, it attacked the one thing she cherished most, her voice. The stroke left her unable to speak properly, let alone sing. The powerful instrument that had mesmerized millions was gone. Doctors gave her a chilling prognosis. She might never sing again. It was her worst fear come to life. The dream that started with a song was now in danger of ending in silence. While the world wondered where she'd gone, Susan Boyle was facing the fight of her life. Far from the public eye, the year that followed the stroke was a quiet, agonizing fight. For any performer, their voice and body are everything. The stroke had damaged both. Her path to recovery wasn't a gentle slope, it was a steep, painful climb, one step at a time. This was Susan's silent battle. Her days were filled with grueling rehabilitation, fighting to regain control over her own muscles. But the most important fight was for her voice. She started intensive vocal coaching, not to learn a new song, but just to be able to speak clearly again. Every word was a tiny victory. She later admitted how hard it was, saying, "I'm not going to pretend otherwise." But beneath the fear, something else took over, a ferocious determination. The stroke had taken her voice, but as she put it, it had given me a hunger to keep going. Her one goal, the light that guided her through the darkest days, was to sing on stage again. For over a year, she worked tirelessly, pushing through pain and frustration. She wasn't just fighting for a career, she was fighting for herself. She was fighting to prove that her story wasn't a tragedy, it was a story of resilience, and then, in June 2023, the moment arrived. The stage was the same one where it all began, Britain's Got Talent. She was scheduled for a surprise appearance in the season finale. No one in the audience knew what she'd been through. The pressure was immense. Could she do it? As she walked on stage with the West End cast of Les Miserables, the opening notes of "I Dreamed a Dream" began to play. Same song, same stage, but this was a different woman. She was a survivor. Taking a deep breath, she began to sing. The voice that came out was more than just beautiful, it was a miracle. It was filled with a new depth, a raw emotion born from her struggle. Every note was a testament to a year of silent, painstaking work. She didn't just sing the song, she embodied it. The lyrics about a storm that shattered a dream now felt like a defiant roar. She had faced her storm and come out the other side, still singing. When the last note faded, the audience erupted. The standing ovation was thunderous. The judges were emotional, but it was Simon Cowell's words that carried the most weight. He revealed what he'd known privately. "Susan, we owe you so much," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I knew you weren't well, but if anyone was going to come back, you were going to come back because we wouldn't be the same without you. You are amazing." It was then that Susan shared her story publicly for the first time. "It's extra special for me, actually," she told the hosts, her voice steady and proud. "Last April I suffered a minor stroke, and I fought like crazy to get back on stage. And I have done it." The revelation sent a shockwave through the audience and across social media. Fans were stunned, not just by the news but by her incredible strength. Her comeback was complete. She hadn't just returned, she had transformed a moment of potential defeat into her greatest victory. Susan Boyle's triumphant return to the BGT stage wasn't just a comeback, it was a new beginning. It marked the end of her silent battle and the start of a vibrant new chapter, one defined by the incredible strength she found. On her 64th birthday, April 1, 2025, she made a heartfelt announcement on social media after a 2-year absence. "I'm back and working on some wonderful new projects that I can't wait for you to hear about," she declared. The message was clear, the silence was over, and she wasn't kidding. In May 2025, Susan shared photos from a recording studio. A place doctors told her she might never see again. It was her first time recording in 6 years. She called the day wonderful, emotional, and everything in between. A powerful reflection on her journey back to her happy place. A new album is officially in the works, and fans are eagerly waiting to hear the voice that fought its way back from the brink, but her plans don't stop there. A new tour is being planned, her first in years. There's also a TV documentary in the works that will follow her recovery and return to music. She's even dipping her toes back into acting with a cameo in a new Rupert Everett film, for which she has also recorded a song. She's also teased a drama project, proving she's ready to keep exploring new creative paths. Despite a net worth estimated at $40 million, Susan remains as humble as ever. She still lives in her childhood home in Blackburn, a place that keeps her grounded. Recent photos show her looking happy and healthy, debuting a glamorous blonde hairstyle and enjoying a simple barbecue with friends. She's a woman who has survived the dizzying heights of fame and the terrifying lows of a health crisis, and has emerged with both her spirit and her voice shining brightly. Susan Boyle's journey is one of the most inspiring stories in recent memory. From that first audition, she represented the power of a dream. But her story since then has become a testament to something even greater, the power of the human spirit. What part of her journey moves you the most? Is it the shocking discovery, the silent struggle, or the triumphant comeback? Let us know in the comments. And if you found her story as inspiring as we do, please like this video and subscribe for more stories about the artists you love. The story of Susan Boyle was never just about a great voice. It was about the woman behind it. It was about the courage it takes to stand on a stage and prove everyone wrong. It was about the grace she showed under the crushing pressure of a world that wasn't always kind. And now, it's about the iron will she showed when a devastating illness threatened to take it all away. She is a powerful reminder that our greatest strength isn't found when things are easy, but in how we respond when they're not. She fought a battle no one could see to reclaim a gift she wasn't ready to let go of. Her return wasn't just a comeback, it was a rebirth. The shy woman from Blackburn who dreamed a dream has now become a living lesson in resilience, proving that it's never too late to rewrite your own story, and that even after the deepest silence, a voice can return, stronger and more beautiful than ever before.